In Chamishi, the Torah now returns back to the episode of Yosef, and the setting is that Yosef is now in the house of Paro. In fact, the Torah tells us Yosef Hurad Mitzrayim. Yosef had gone down to Mitzrayim, and Potiphar, the officer of Paro, had bought Yosef from the hands of the Yishmaelim, who brought him down to Mitzrayim. The next pasuk, Vayihi Hashem es Yosef, and Hashem was with Yosef. Vayihi ish matzliach, and Yosef was a successful person. Vayihi beveis Adonov HaMitzri, and he was in the house of his Egyptian master. And the Ksav Sofer wonders a couple of questions on this pasuk. And the Ksav Sofer says, number one, he says obviously, Vayihi beveis Adonov HaMitzri. We just said that Yosef was taken down to Mitzrayim and purchased in Mitzrayim. So why does the Torah now have to repeat that he was V'veis Adonai HaMitzri? He was in the house of his Egyptian master. And secondly, in this one pasuk, the pasuk Lamites pasuk Beis, the Torah uses the word Vayihi three different times, three different phrases. Vayihi Hashem es Yosef, Hashem was with Yosef. Vayihi ish matzliach, he was a successful person. Vayihi beveis Adonai HaMitzri, and he was in the house of his Egyptian master. Why does it use the word Vayihi three times in these three phrases? And the Ksav Sofer explains a fascinating insight. He says as follows. He says that Yosef was, we know, a successful person. Vayihi ish matzliach, absolutely. But what was so important is that we know that the Mitzrayim, as we just said, had just bought Yosef from the Yishmaelim. Explains the Ksav Sofer, it's true that Yosef was a successful person, but there was one point in his lifetime where he was not successful. And that point was during the transition period when he was purchased from the brothers by the Yishmaelim and brought down to Mitzrayim. He was successful beforehand. He was matzachein be'enei aviv. He found favor in the eyes of his father. Yaakov loved him. He found favors in the eyes of everyone down in Mitzrayim, but apparently he didn't find such favor in the eyes of Yishmaelim. And how do we know that? Because had he found such favor in the eyes of the Yishmaelim, then they would never have sold him to the Mitzrayim. So explains the Ksav Sofer, yes, Vayihi Hashem as Yosef, Hashem was always with him, and as a result, Vayihi ish matzliach, he was a successful person. But Vayihi beveis Adonai HaMitzri, that was only when he was in his Egyptian master's house, when it was that interim time that the Yishmaelim were taking him down to Mitzrayim. He was not matzachin, he was not so successful. Hashem removed that, says Ksav Sofer, from him for that time period. That was his essence. It was who he was Yefei Torah, Yefei Mara. He was a beautiful person. He was a person who found favor in everyone's eyes around him, and people liked him. But apparently during this road trip down with the Yishmaelim, Hashem removed that chen, Hashem removed that beauty from Yosef so that he would not find favor in the eyes of Yishmaelim, and they would sell him to Mitzrayim. That's the Ksav Sofer, is the hashkachas Hashem that Hashem had directly for Yosef, because had he found favor in the eyes of Yishmaelim, he would never have gone down to Mitzrayim, and the whole story would have been unraveled. And so the hashkach of Hashem was that he removed that beauty, he removed that chen from Yosef during that interim time, that road trip itself with the Yishmaelim, so that they would continue and go and sell him to the Mitzrayim, at which point that chen was returned. He was able to find favor in the eyes of Paro, and the rest is history. But therefore, this pasuk is emphasizing that because of Hashem being with Yosef, Hashem making him an ish matzliach, but during that one interim time, Hashem actually removed that from him and made it that he did not find that favor, so that the rest of the story can play out accordingly.